Dear soul, chosen one, someone secretly loves you and is ready to reveal their heart. Something unexpected is unfolding quietly in the background of your life, and the reason this message has found you today may not be a coincidence at all. There is someone who has been carrying a truth inside their heart for a long time, a truth they have tried to silence, hide, and even deny to themselves. Yet no matter how much they tried to push it away, the feeling kept returning, stronger and more undeniable than before. What you are about to understand may surprise you, because this person has been observing your presence from a distance, feeling a connection that they never fully knew how to explain. They notice the way you carry yourself, the way you remain kind even when life becomes difficult, and the quiet strength that exists inside you. For a long time they convinced themselves that these feelings should remain secret, that it was safer to stay silent than to risk revealing what their heart truly holds. But something has shifted recently. A deep realization has begun to awaken inside them, and the silence that once felt comfortable now feels impossible to maintain. Before we continue, take a moment to listen carefully to the message that is unfolding. If the words you hear resonate with your spirit and bring peace to your heart, you are invited to gently comment, "Amen, I believe." It is a simple declaration of faith that many people use to acknowledge encouragement that speaks to their soul. If you appreciate messages that bring hope, reflection, and spiritual reassurance, you may also choose to like this video as a way of supporting positive and uplifting content. And if you wish to continue receiving these kinds of messages in the future, you are welcome to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss new guidance meant to uplift your heart. Some viewers who feel deeply moved by a message also choose to support the channel through a super thanks as an act of appreciation. This is always completely voluntary, never required, and never connected to receiving blessings or miracles. Your presence here is already meaningful, and what matters most is the message itself. Now allow yourself to settle into the quiet truth that is beginning to unfold. Faithful heart, there is someone whose thoughts often return to you when the world around them becomes silent. During moments when they are alone, when the distractions of daily life fade away, your presence rises in their mind like a gentle echo they cannot ignore. They remember small details about you, the way you speak, the kindness in your voice, the calm energy that seems to follow you even when you are unaware of it. What they feel is not something sudden or impulsive. It has been slowly growing, quietly forming like a seed planted long ago that has finally begun to bloom. For a long time this person believed their feelings would simply fade if they ignored them. They told themselves that distance would make the emotions disappear, that time would convince them to move on. Yet every attempt to silence their heart only revealed a deeper truth. Their feelings for you were not temporary. They were real, steady, and quietly persistent. You who are listening right now may not realize how much your presence has influenced this person's life. Even the smallest interactions you shared may have meant more to them than you could have imagined. Sometimes they replay conversations in their mind, wondering if you ever noticed the way they looked at you, the way their words sometimes paused because they were afraid of saying too much. Their heart has been carefully protecting this secret, but recently something inside them has changed. A realization has begun to surface that life is too precious to live with unspoken truths. They have started to understand that hiding their feelings has only created distance between what they feel and what they truly desire. Dear soul, there is often a moment in every person's life when the heart becomes stronger than fear. That moment may be approaching for them now. The silence they once relied on no longer feels safe. Instead, it feels heavy, like a truth waiting patiently to be spoken. They are beginning to understand that honesty may be the only way to bring peace to their heart. Take a moment and listen carefully, because the story unfolding here is not about pressure or expectation. It is about the quiet courage that grows when someone realizes that their feelings deserve to be acknowledged. This person has spent many nights thinking about whether revealing their heart would change everything. They wondered if speaking their truth might disrupt the calm balance that currently exists between you. Fear often whispered that silence was easier. Yet another voice, deeper and calmer, continued to remind them that genuine feelings cannot remain hidden forever. Faithful heart, there is something beautiful about a love that begins quietly. It grows slowly, observing, learning, respecting the space between two souls. This person never rushed toward you with loud declarations or dramatic gestures. Instead, they allowed their admiration to remain gentle and patient, hoping that one day the moment would arrive when honesty could finally replace hesitation. And that moment may be drawing closer than you realize. If this message found you today, there may be a reason your spirit felt guided to listen. Sometimes life places us exactly where we need to be when important emotional truths are preparing to surface. The person who carries these feelings has been reflecting deeply on the direction of their life. They have realized that the moments they treasure most often include memories of you. Whether those memories are simple conversations, shared laughter, or brief encounters, each one holds meaning that they quietly kept in their heart. You who are listening right now may not have seen the depth of what was forming behind the scenes. From your perspective, everything may have appeared normal, calm, and ordinary. Yet beneath that calm surface, someone has been slowly gathering the courage to acknowledge what their heart has been telling them for a long time. Dear soul, the truth about love is that it often reveals itself when people stop running from their own emotions. This person is beginning to understand that honesty is not something to fear. It is a path toward clarity, toward peace, toward the possibility of something meaningful. They are learning that silence cannot protect them forever. The heart has a voice, and when that voice grows strong enough, it eventually asks to be heard. As this realization continues to grow inside them, they may soon find themselves standing at a crossroads between continued silence and sincere confession. And when that moment arrives, the secret they carried for so long may finally transform into words that reveal what has been hidden within their heart all along. Faithful heart, as these quiet realizations continue to unfold inside the person who has been carrying these hidden emotions, something within them is slowly transforming. What once felt like uncertainty is gradually turning into clarity. For a long time they believed their feelings were something fragile, something that might disappear if they ignored them long enough. Yet every attempt to silence their heart only revealed a deeper truth. The affection they feel for you is not built on fleeting attraction or temporary curiosity. It has grown patiently through observation, respect, and admiration for who you truly are. This is why their thoughts return to you again and again, even during moments when they try to focus on other parts of life. It is as though your presence left a quiet imprint on their spirit, a reminder that certain connections are not easily replaced or forgotten. Dear soul, the reason this matters is because genuine emotions rarely rush. They mature slowly, becoming stronger with time rather than fading away. The person who secretly loves you has reached a point where pretending that nothing exists between you no longer feels honest to themselves. They have started reflecting on moments they once dismissed as insignificant. They remember the calm feeling they experienced whenever you were near. They remember how conversations with you felt natural, almost effortless, as if your words carried a familiarity that comforted them. These memories have quietly shaped the way they see you. And recently, those memories have begun whispering a question they can no longer ignore: what if the truth they have been hiding is meant to be spoken? You who are listening right now may not realize how much courage it takes for someone to face that question. Many people spend years avoiding emotional honesty because vulnerability can feel intimidating. Revealing genuine affection requires trust, patience, and the willingness to accept whatever response may come. This is exactly the crossroads where this person now finds themselves. They understand that continuing to hide their feelings may protect them from temporary discomfort, but it also prevents the possibility of something beautiful unfolding. The heart inside them is beginning to choose bravery over silence. Faithful heart, there is another truth quietly guiding this situation. Sometimes love develops in the spaces where people least expect it. It forms through shared energy, subtle understanding, and moments that appear ordinary on the surface yet hold deeper meaning beneath. The person who loves you never planned for their feelings to grow this way. At first, you were simply someone they respected and appreciated. Yet the more they observed your kindness, your patience, and the way you navigate life with quiet strength, the more their admiration deepened. What began as simple appreciation slowly transformed into affection, and that affection gradually became something they could no longer deny. Take a moment and listen carefully, because the transformation happening inside them is not sudden. It is the result of many quiet reflections. They have asked themselves difficult questions. They have wondered whether revealing their heart might change the dynamic between you. They have worried about whether you would understand the sincerity behind their words. Yet despite all these doubts, one realization continues returning to them like a steady light in the darkness: honesty is the only path that will bring peace to their heart. Dear soul, there is something powerful about the moment when a person stops running from what they feel. It is a moment of awakening, a moment when fear loses its grip and truth begins to rise. The person who secretly loves you is approaching that moment now. They are beginning to see that the feelings they carry are not something to hide or feel ashamed of. Instead, those feelings are a reflection of genuine appreciation for the person you are. You who are listening right now might be unaware of how your authenticity has touched their life. Perhaps you never intended to inspire such emotion. Perhaps you simply lived your life with honesty and compassion, never realizing that someone nearby was quietly witnessing those qualities and finding them deeply meaningful. Yet this is often how true affection begins. It grows not from grand gestures, but from small moments of sincerity that reveal a person's character. Faithful heart, the person who loves you has been reflecting on the possibility of speaking their truth. They imagine what it might feel like to finally release the secret they have guarded for so long. At times the thought fills them with nervous energy, because revealing emotions means stepping into vulnerability. Yet another part of them feels relief when they imagine finally being honest. Carrying unspoken feelings can become heavy over time, like holding a letter that was meant to be delivered but never sent. The longer it remains hidden, the stronger the urge becomes to share what was written inside. If this message found you today, there may be a reason your spirit felt guided to listen at this exact moment. Life often moves quietly behind the scenes, arranging circumstances in ways we only understand later. The person who holds these feelings has begun noticing signs within their own heart that encourage them to stop hiding. They feel a gentle inner push toward openness, as though something within them is guiding them toward honesty and emotional clarity. This guidance is not loud or dramatic. It is subtle, calm, and persistent. Dear soul, there is also something important for you to understand. The emotions this person carries are not rooted in expectation or pressure. They do not view their feelings as a demand for immediate answers. Instead, they see them as a truth that deserves to be expressed respectfully and sincerely. What they desire most is clarity, the freedom that comes from speaking honestly rather than wondering forever what might have been. This mindset has slowly replaced the fear that once kept them silent. They are realizing that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the doorway through which genuine connections are built. Faithful heart, imagine the quiet moment when someone finally decides to stop hiding what they feel. It is rarely dramatic or loud. Often it begins with a simple realization during a calm evening or a thoughtful walk. In that moment, the heart becomes certain about one thing: some truths deserve to be spoken regardless of the outcome. This is the realization growing inside the person who secretly loves you. Their heart is gradually preparing to turn silent admiration into spoken words. You who are listening right now might sense that something subtle has been shifting around you recently. Perhaps the energy between you and this person has begun to feel slightly different, as though unspoken understanding is slowly rising to the surface. This change is not accidental. It reflects the emotional journey they have been experiencing internally. Every reflection, every moment of courage, and every quiet realization is bringing them closer to the moment when their heart will finally be revealed. Dear soul, when that moment arrives, it will not be about perfection or rehearsed speeches. True confessions rarely follow a perfect script. They come from sincerity, from the simple courage to speak honestly about what has been felt for a long time. And when someone reaches that point of honesty, something beautiful happens within their spirit. The burden of silence disappears, replaced by the peace that comes from living in truth. The person who secretly loves you is moving closer to that peace. Their heart is slowly learning that the feelings they carry are worth acknowledging, worth expressing, and worthy of being shared with the one person who unknowingly inspired them. And as this courage continues to grow within them, the day when their hidden affection transforms into spoken words may be approaching more quickly than either of you expected. Faithful heart, as the quiet courage within this person continues to grow, their understanding of their own emotions is becoming clearer than it has ever been before. There was a time when they believed their feelings might only be temporary admiration, something that would fade quietly with time. But time did not erase what they felt. Instead, it refined it. It shaped those emotions into something deeper, calmer, and more sincere. They began noticing that whenever life became confusing or overwhelming, their thoughts naturally returned to you. Your presence in their memory felt like a place of calm, a reminder that genuine kindness still exists in the world. This realization slowly changed the way they looked at their own heart. They started to understand that what they feel is not something random or accidental. It is something meaningful that has grown quietly through patience and reflection. Dear soul, many people go through life without ever pausing to truly listen to their hearts. They rush from moment to moment, distracting themselves with responsibilities and noise. Yet there are rare moments when the heart speaks with such clarity that it becomes impossible to ignore. This is the moment that has been forming inside the person who secretly loves you. They have reached a point where silence no longer feels peaceful. Instead, it feels incomplete, as though a truth waiting inside them deserves to be acknowledged. They have spent many quiet nights reflecting on the possibility of revealing their feelings. They imagine what it would be like to stand before you with honesty, expressing what their heart has carried for so long. In those moments of reflection, they do not imagine dramatic gestures or overwhelming declarations. Instead, they imagine something simple and sincere. They imagine speaking gently, explaining that their feelings grew gradually and naturally, and that they never intended to hide them forever. What once felt impossible to say is slowly becoming a truth they believe deserves to be shared. You who are listening right now may not realize how much thought and emotional growth has led to this point. The person who loves you has examined their intentions carefully. They have asked themselves whether their feelings are based on genuine respect and appreciation, or whether they are simply reacting to temporary emotion. Each time they searched their heart, the answer remained the same. Their affection for you is real, and it comes from a place of sincerity. Faithful heart, there is something sacred about the way honest feelings develop when they are guided by patience rather than urgency. This person never rushed toward you with expectations. They allowed their admiration to remain quiet, observing the qualities that make you who you are. They notice the way you treat others with kindness even when you receive little recognition for it. They notice the calm strength you carry during difficult moments. They notice the sincerity in your words when you speak about things that matter to you. All these small observations slowly formed a picture in their heart, a picture of someone they deeply respect and care for. Take a moment and listen carefully, because the transformation happening inside them is not just about romantic feelings. It is also about personal growth. Loving someone quietly has taught them patience, humility, and emotional honesty. They have learned that real affection is not about possession or control. It is about appreciation and the desire to see another person happy and fulfilled. These lessons have changed them in ways they did not expect. And as they continue reflecting on what their heart feels, they are beginning to understand that hiding their truth would only prevent them from living authentically. Dear soul, there is a beautiful kind of bravery that emerges when someone decides to live with emotional honesty. It does not appear suddenly like lightning. Instead, it grows slowly, like dawn spreading across the sky before sunrise. The person who secretly loves you is experiencing the quiet dawn within their spirit. Each day they feel a little more certain that revealing their heart may be the only way to move forward with peace. They know there is always uncertainty when emotions are shared. No one can fully control how another person will respond. Yet they are beginning to realize that honesty itself is valuable, regardless of the outcome. You who are listening right now may also feel a subtle shift in the energy surrounding your life. Sometimes when someone is preparing to reveal an important truth, the atmosphere around them begins to change in small but noticeable ways. Conversations become slightly deeper. Eye contact lingers a little longer. There may be moments when words are left unspoken, yet the silence carries meaning. These moments are often signs that emotions are slowly rising toward the surface. Faithful heart, the person who loves you has been paying attention to those moments. They notice how their heart reacts when you are nearby. They notice how their thoughts become more focused, how their words become more careful because they want to speak with sincerity. These subtle changes have helped them understand that their feelings are not something to hide anymore. Instead, they are something to acknowledge with honesty and respect. If this message found you today, there may be a quiet purpose behind it. Life sometimes places us in moments of reflection before important emotional truths appear. Perhaps this message is simply inviting you to remain open to the possibilities unfolding around you. It is not asking you to rush or assume anything. It is only encouraging awareness, the gentle awareness that someone in your life may be preparing to share something deeply personal with you. Dear soul, when someone gathers the courage to reveal their heart, they are offering something incredibly sincere. They are offering vulnerability, trust, and the willingness to be seen without emotional armor. The person who secretly loves you is slowly preparing themselves for that moment of openness. They have realized that keeping their feelings hidden forever would mean carrying a question that might never find an answer. And sometimes the human heart longs for clarity more than it fears rejection. Faithful heart, imagine the quiet relief that comes when someone finally speaks the truth they have been holding inside for so long. The tension that once lived within their chest dissolves, replaced by a sense of freedom. This is the peace the person who loves you hopes to experience. Not because they expect a particular outcome, but because they understand that honesty is a gift to both the speaker and the listener. You who are listening right now might one day find yourself standing in a moment that feels unexpectedly meaningful. Perhaps it will be during an ordinary conversation, or a calm walk, or a simple moment of shared presence. In that moment, the person who has quietly admired you may gather the courage to speak words they have rehearsed silently in their heart many times before. Their voice may carry nervousness, but it will also carry sincerity. Dear soul, when that moment arrives, remember that genuine feelings often appear in the simplest forms. They do not need grand performances or dramatic expressions to be meaningful. Sometimes the most powerful words are spoken softly, with honesty and respect. The person who secretly loves you is slowly approaching that moment of truth, guided not by pressure or urgency but by the quiet understanding that some emotions are too sincere to remain hidden forever. And as their courage continues to grow day by day, the secret they once protected so carefully is gradually transforming into a message their heart is ready to share with you openly and honestly. Faithful heart, as this quiet journey of emotion continues to unfold, the person who has been holding these feelings is reaching a place of calm certainty. It is not the kind of certainty that arrives with noise or dramatic decisions. Instead, it arrives softly, like a deep breath after a long period of hesitation. They have spent enough time questioning themselves, wondering if their emotions were real, wondering if silence was the safer path. But the heart has a remarkable way of guiding a person back to the truth they tried to avoid. And the truth inside them is simple. What they feel for you is genuine, steady, and worthy of being spoken. Over time they have realized that life rarely rewards the words we keep hidden. The things we never say often become the questions that follow us for years. They do not want their feelings for you to become one of those unanswered questions. Instead, they want honesty to replace uncertainty. They want to look at you without the quiet weight of secrets resting on their heart. Dear soul, there is something deeply human about this moment they are approaching. It is the moment when a person decides that authenticity matters more than fear. They understand that sharing their heart does not guarantee a specific outcome. What it guarantees is truth. And truth has a peaceful power that silence never provides. This is why they are slowly preparing themselves to reveal what they have carried for so long. Not with pressure, not with expectations, but with sincerity and respect for you and for themselves. You who are listening right now may not realize how meaningful your presence has been in their life. Sometimes a person enters our world and unknowingly changes the way we see love, kindness, and connection. Your authenticity has done exactly that for them. The way you live, the way you speak with honesty, the quiet strength you carry through your challenges, these things have left an impression that cannot easily be forgotten. What they admire most is not perfection, but the sincerity of your spirit. Faithful heart, the moment when hidden feelings become spoken truth often feels simpler than the long journey that leads up to it. After so many silent reflections and private thoughts, the words themselves may come out gently and directly. Perhaps they will simply tell you that their feelings grew naturally over time. Perhaps they will explain that they never intended to hide their heart forever, but needed time to understand it themselves. Whatever the exact words may be, they will come from a place of honesty that has been carefully formed through patience and reflection. Take a moment and listen carefully, because the deeper message here is not only about someone else's feelings. It is also about the beauty of emotional courage. When people choose honesty, they create space for genuine connections to exist without confusion or hidden expectations. The person who secretly loves you is beginning to understand that revealing their heart is not something to fear. It is simply an act of truth, an act of respect for the emotions that have quietly grown inside them. If this message found you today, there may be a quiet purpose in hearing it now. Life sometimes prepares us gently before meaningful moments appear. It reminds us to stay open, calm, and aware of the sincerity that exists around us. Whether this confession arrives tomorrow or sometime later, what matters most is the authenticity behind it. Dear soul, remember that genuine love rarely rushes and rarely demands. It arrives with patience, honesty, and the quiet hope that two hearts may understand one another. The person who has been silently caring for you is learning to trust that honesty will bring clarity to both of your lives. And when the moment finally arrives for them to reveal what has been hidden within their heart, it will not feel like the beginning of something forced. It will feel like the natural unfolding of a truth that has been waiting patiently for the right time to be spoken. Faithful heart, as this message comes to a close, allow yourself to carry one simple understanding with you. Somewhere in your world there is a heart that has quietly appreciated you, respected you, and cared for you more deeply than you may have realized. And as courage continues to grow within that heart, the secret it once protected so carefully is preparing to become a sincere confession that brings honesty, clarity, and perhaps a new chapter of understanding between two souls who were never meant to remain strangers forever. Type Amen.